We begin tonight with a story that might surprise you. It's about how easy it is for Canadians to be refused entry to the United States. If you admit to having smoked marijuana at some point in the past, U.S. border agents can refuse to let you in. We're not talking about a conviction for possession or trafficking, but simply having smoked pot at some point. Now, a whole lot of high-profile Canadians have admitted that in recent weeks. So what would happen to them if they admitted it at the border? Perhaps the same thing that happened to a young BC woman. Gill has her story.
Jess Goldstein was headed to a music festival in Washington State over the long weekend. With tickets in hand, she was psyched for a concert she'd waited all summer for. When she pulled up to the U.S. border, she was asked the usual citizenship questions.
Then she asked, has anyone ever used any drugs? And I was like, oh, well, I've smoked pot before.
The 30-year-old admitted she'd smoked pot a week earlier.
At that point, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I mean, I have no criminal charges.
For 3 hours, she was interrogated and had her car searched. There were no drugs, no paraphernalia. But Goldstein has been barred from entering the United States for good.
I was honest. I was, an average Canadian 30-year-old student that told the truth, and I'm getting penalized for it.
Here's the law. Those who have been convicted or who admit to having committed acts which constitute the essential elements of a violation will be banned.
There is a component of the law that says by mere admission, they can keep you out.
This immigration lawyer in Toronto says it happens all the time.
I'll have clients come to me and they'll tell me that, they were asked questions at the border, they admitted to an old offense, even if they were never charged or convicted of it, and they were banned.
In the last few weeks, Liberal leader Justin Trudeau confessed to having a puff. So has Rob Ford.
I won't deny that. I smoked a lot of it.
They too face the same fate when traveling south. Lawyers advise don't lie and don't tell.
At least there's no admission on the record.
In order to ever get back into the U.S., Jess Goldstein was told she'd have to get a waiver for $600. But according to American law, that waiver again depends on a conviction. And Jess Goldstein was never convicted of any crime.
I'm a student and I'm living on student loan. I don't have $600.
She can appeal by going to the U.S. Immigration Board, but that can be a long process. Gill, Global News, Vancouver.
And here's a little reality check on how many Canadians could be turned away at the border. 39% of Canadians admit to smoking pot at least once. That's roughly 11 million people aged 15 and older. And 9% of those say they've sparked a joint in the past 12 months. And we want to hear from you. Have you ever been turned away at the border and thought it was unfair? You can tell us your story at globalnews.ca.